What's up everybody and welcome back to my channel, Mystery Money. In today's video, I wanted to discuss a topic that's very contentious among truck drivers. It's going to be, do you buy new or do you buy used? Now, I'm going to look at it from the standpoint of the financial aspect, not the drivability or comfort. Post a comment below, let me know what year, make, model, flavor truck you drive, or what you're maybe looking at. Before I get started, I wanted to say thank you to all of my subscribers that I have gained over the past year and a half. To say thank you, I will be giving away 2 of these. They are custom engraved with this channel's logo. All you got to do to get entered is to like, comment, share this video with the trucking community or anyone that you think would get value. Post a comment below and I will choose at random 2 subscribers to give these away to. If you think these are very cool and you would like to buy your own, these were purchased and engraved by a local company called Landis Originals. If you feel like supporting small business, they do ship across the country. They do phenomenal work. They will engrave almost anything. You can check out their website here where they list all of their drinkware, specialty coasters, things like that, and phenomenal to deal with. My order was texted to me when it was finished, and just a great little small business to support. So if you're in the need for anything on the holidays, I don't know if it's too late to get it, but you can try. Check out Landis Originals. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the video. As many of you know on this channel, I do not drive myself. My brother drives the trucks. I run all the financials, the QuickBooks, the payroll, things like that. So as far as comfort, I have no idea, other than I've sat in them when we've gone to pick one up for repairs, or when it just got purchased, I went for a ride. I have considered getting my CDL license, only for the reason that I can just go pick up the truck when it's ready if I have another driver out or something like that. But beside the point, let's look at the numbers. We recently had one of our newer trucks in the shop for about 6 weeks. They couldn't figure out what diagnostically was wrong. They ended up changing the turbo out twice. Our local dealer kept saying it was something else, but then the engineers at International somewhere else that hooked up kept telling them to throw parts at it and change it. And what would happen is when it got under load or on a hill, it wanted to go into a D rate. So it would only go 45 miles an hour and you could limp back to the dealership. That happened 3 times. Luckily the driver had already delivered and he was bobtailing wherever, home, whatever, and he could just take it to the garage. But anyway, those things happen even with new trucks. Most of it was covered by warranty. Now that warranty has since run out, so we will see going forward. But it was the downtime. So we only have 3 trucks, and if one of them's down, my brother doesn't drive and our other 2 drivers get paid, because I would rather my brother doesn't get paid versus somebody else not getting paid. The other one is we've had a older truck that had a complete engine rehaul, and luckily that was under the extended warranty, so I'm a huge fan of extended warranties for those reasons. Any new trucks we get from this point on will be purchased with extended warranties. Now, that's kind of how you know where I lie financially. I have told my brother and the drivers I will only buy new trucks, or slightly used, as in like 1 year with a few thousand miles on it, nothing over 100,000 miles. I won't buy it. My logic is I would rather have that warranty and know that if anything's wrong, or mostly anything's wrong, it'll go back to the dealership and get fixed. Now, as far as the emissions and everything else go, on all our trucks we have APUs. So our trucks don't idle a lot, really. I mean, they only idle when they're in traffic. When the guys get where they're going, they can shut them down, start the APU. Some guys can cook in the trucks, whatever. We've found that that has helped us on the emissions and with not having to clean the filters in the after treatment as often or ever, really. Now, what you're going to say, some of the old timers or some of the people that have been in this industry, and even one of our drivers loves the old long-nosed Pete's or anything with a Detroit or a Cat engine. I have several clients that I've dealt with over the years that have owned trucking companies, and it's been a mixture. I have some that'll only run those older trucks, but they're getting harder and harder to find parts for, and they're harder and harder to find mechanics for, because mechanics coming out of diesel technology institutes, or basically anyone in the last 5 years, isn't trained on the older engines. They're only trained on the newer engines. So finding a mechanic that can work on those, you could be in a shop for several weeks if they're backed up. In our area, I can only think of maybe 1 or 2 shops that'll take on those older trucks and work on them, and I'm talking like complete rebuilds, things like that. But you're still putting newer parts on an old truck. So even though the engine may be brand new, let's say you're putting a new engine in, the rest of that truck is still old. So you're going to have things that happen on that truck. We had a wiring harness wear through. We had a complete engine warranty, and the wiring harness wore through from the front of the engine to the back, and we had intermittent lights out. They had to rewire the whole thing, and that just had to do with there was a grommet that had fallen out, and it was rubbing against bare metal, and the wires got exposed. Things like that happen. But the other big advantage of running a new truck is what we're seeing in some of the states like California, that they're banning any of the old trucks that don't have the emissions from even going in the states, going to the ports. And everyone says, well, we don't run in California, or we don't get, pulled over, we don't get DOT'd as far as the emissions check. Now, what I'm saying is, no matter who the administration is, I don't want to get political, but either one with a stroke of a pen could tomorrow say, yeah, any trucks that don't have a DEF system in them can't run on the road. Or even if they give a moratorium and say 6 months. Well, there's fleets out there that only run those older trucks. They're going to have to go out and buy new trucks or go out of business, pretty much. And I think with all of the things that are going on in the climate right now, with climate change and all the meetings and everything, I don't think it's going to be too far down the line until they really start regulating. And even if they don't say those trucks can't run, what they're going to say is, okay, now we're going to have emissions testing across the country. Any DOT station you pull into does emissions testing. There's a lot of companies out there that have deleted their emissions systems from their truck. However you do it, I don't know. But anyway, they're not there. And it isn't an issue, and I'm not talking legally. They do what they want. What I'm saying is it's not an issue because you're not being tested. But once they start testing and they find out that has been either deleted or you don't pass emissions, that truck won't run again, ever. So you're taking a risk on your motor carrier number, your DOT number getting pulled, your trucks being sidelined, and your driver being stranded. So those are some of the reasons why I don't choose older trucks. Now, there's a lot of other good reasons to choose older trucks. Older mechanical engines are superior. You don't have a lot of sensors, a lot of the emissions things that can cause issues. And I grew up driving 1950s tractors, like the Farmalls, the John Deeres, those that are still running, and they run phenomenal. They have barely any electronic components. They're really hard to make those engines not run. And it's similar with the Cats or the Detroits and the older on the, the long-nosed Petes and things like that. What I'm saying is it's going to be harder and harder to find mechanics that are working on those trucks. Unless you're very, if you can wrench it yourself, then albeit. But if you're like me and all I do is run books, I'm mechanically inclined, but I don't have time. I don't have time to learn that or do it. So most of the time I just send it to a mechanic. So that's where I wanted to go with this video, is just to give my opinion on what I think between new and old trucks. Yes, there's benefits to both, and there's disadvantages to both. But I feel like you need to do whatever's best for your business. If that's running old trucks, if you know how to wrench on them, then go ahead. And if it's you don't know how to wrench on them, or you don't have the time or space or anything like that, then maybe a new is a better way to look. And when it comes down to prices, if you look on Truck Paper or anywhere else, the prices are pretty comparable for what you're getting based on the truck. So I know companies that will buy an old truck, tear it completely down to the frame, and replace everything brand new. In that case, then that's a new truck. If you're putting new pistons and heads and things like that in an old block, you may have issues with those new parts. I've had customers and I've had friends that have replaced. They put new heads on their truck and they cracked within 6 months. Or they had a piston sleeve crack. All the parts that you put in are only made today. You know where most of the parts are coming from. So, just my 2 cents on the trucks. You do what you need to do. If you got any value out of this video, if you could do me a favor and smash that like button. And until next time, have a great day.